The jury is now deliberating in the case of a former Clear Creek County deputy accused of shooting and killing Christian Glass almost 2 years ago. Thanks for joining us. It's 4 o'clock. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. The prosecution and defense made closing arguments in a Georgetown courtroom this morning in the second-degree murder trial of Andrew Bune. 9 News reporter Steve Steger was among the first reporters to actually bring us that body camera video of that shooting, and he has covered this case since the beginning. He was in the courtroom, and he's joining us right now. Steve?
Kim, the jury here got this case right around lunchtime, and they've been deliberating ever since then. There is no denying that body camera video, the video evidence, is the key piece of evidence in this case. And this morning, both the prosecutors and Bune's attorneys painted different pictures of what was actually going on in that video.
Christian, stop reaching for stuff, dude.
Christian Glass was upfront about the rock hunting knives he had in his SUV on a June night in 2022 when he called 911 after he got his car stuck. He told a dispatcher he'd throw them out the window when Clear Creek County Deputy Andrew Bune arrived. He told him the same.
Mr. Bune was the one that said, no.
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them. I want you out of the vehicle now.
In court Wednesday morning, DA Heidi McCollum told the story of a deputy laser focused on getting Christian Glass out of his car when he had no legal reason to do so. She said Bune acted unreasonably when he eventually broke Christian's window, shot him with beanbag rounds, then tased him, which very quickly led to deadly force.
They were concerned that he might get out of the car and use the knife. But they wanted him out of the car. How could Christian win that night? Maybe the better question is, how could Christian live that night?
Bune's attorney, Carrie Slinkard, gave the jury a portrait of a different Christian Glass.
Christian Glass presented a threat. He had a deadly weapon in his hand.
She argued Glass was threatening another officer on the scene with a knife, justifying the shooting. And she said Bune had justification to break in because Christian wasn't following a lawful order to step out of the car, and that Bune suspected he may have been driving under the influence.
The bottom line is law enforcement officers are paid to fight crime. They are paid to prevent crime from happening. They are paid to apprehend people who have committed crimes. Period.
Two different stories.
Nobody wanted Christian to die that night. Action was taken in response to behaviors that put another man's life in danger.
Now in the hands of a jury.
I want you to listen to what Deputy Collins on the hood of the car says after he's shot. He says, "Oh God, what did we just do?"
Oh my God. What did we do?
Now, the jury of 10 women and 2 men will continue to deliberate until there is a unanimous verdict in this case. Obviously, there's no timeline for how long that might take. They could find Bune guilty of a lesser crime than second-degree murder, either manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. It's up to their deliberations. We will continue to follow their deliberations throughout the course of the next few days here. Unclear what they're doing right now and if even what their schedule is right now. But for now, we're live in Georgetown. Steve Steger, 9 News.
Well, we certainly have gotten to know Christian's parents through this. They've been a big part of this story ever since he was shot. I imagine they've been in court throughout the trial?
They were in court. They were in court throughout the trial. They were there this morning. They listened to the prosecution's closing argument. They did walk out of the courtroom for the defense's closing argument, came back in for the rebuttal witnesses, and then eyewitness Sally Glass move out of that courtroom as quickly as possible. She spent much of this entire case with her hand in her head in her hands, just kind of in distress, listening to some of this testimony. She, again, has never watched the body camera video in this case. She doesn't know what it looks like. She doesn't want to see it, but she knows enough from her attorneys who've told her what happened and knows enough from the testimony she's heard so far. They are in town waiting for a verdict just like we are.
Yeah, they really have. They've always kept Christian's name out there front and center no matter what throughout this whole process. All right, well, we'll wait and see what the jury says. As you said, many angles to consider. They've been listening to all this testimony for weeks. Thank you, Steve. Okay, let's take a look outside. What a Wednesday. It was so beautiful. We hope you got outside just for a minute, soaked in the sunshine. We're expecting a calm night ahead, and then
See, Kathy, that's the deal. You know, so many people have Wednesdays off, so I know a lot of people got a chance to get outside and enjoy it. And then when they go back to work on Saturday and Sunday, it won't be a problem that it's going to be like a soggy weekend because they'll be at work like most people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tom, as you know, Kim, we call this springtime in Colorado.
Yeah.
You can go from 6 inches of snow to almost 80 degrees to thunderstorms and then more snow. It's forecasting fun, as we like to call it. But if you focus on today, it is a beautiful Wednesday with sunshine, easy travel weather, temperatures in the mid-70s. The mountains bracing for accumulating snow Friday into Saturday from a cold storm that is headed our way for the weekend. Tonight, pleasant and quiet. Tomorrow, chance for some afternoon storm. Some could reach severe limits east of Sterling and Akron. And then we have cooler weather and showers coming into the picture for not only Friday, but Saturday as well. And temperatures today running above average with some 80s in southeastern Colorado, 77 in Denver, 76 in Greeley. Beautiful afternoon. Not a lot of wind, but the wind that we do have coming in out of the south has prompted National Weather Service to put out a red flag warning for the San Luis Valley tonight, and that will be extended out into southeastern Colorado for tomorrow. A little thunder and lightning north of Fort Collins, up around the Cheyenne area. Some beneficial rain as well, kind of hugging the Colorado-Wyoming state line up that way, but a relatively quiet evening. We do expect that to be the pattern throughout tonight and into much of the day tomorrow. Until late in the day, we'll see some clouds increasing with some late day rain showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two, with those heavy storms really continuing east of us in northeastern Colorado late into the night. This night, beautiful. A nice night for dinner on the patio or walk to the park. Coming up, we'll have the timing of the storms tomorrow and when the rain begins for your weekend. That's just ahead.
Some new developments from Aurora this afternoon. We're getting some new pictures now of the suspects wanted for the break-in and the damage done at Aurora West High School. This happened on Monday night at around 11 p.m., where two males broke in and then did significant damage throughout the building. Aurora police releasing new pictures of inside as well, where you can see some of the shattered glass from display cases and windows and damage done to things in classrooms like a television. They're asking anyone with any information to contact Aurora police. Now, Aurora West had to close yesterday while the school cleaned up the damage, but staff and students did return to school today.
Recruiting firefighters isn't as easy these days. One agency is trying to drum up interest early on by bringing in high school students from Adams County for a hands-on experience. For the past couple of years, North Metro Fire and Adams 12's Future Forward program have worked together to offer high school students firefighting experience. It's a program that the chief, Rob Morris, says is really needed. He says it's been hard to find people who will go all the way through the fire academy and then actually stay. With this course, students will understand the ins and outs of the fire service and what it takes.
So much growth is happening on this north side of the Denver area that we're needing to expand. We're needing to add more firefighters, and we're not seeing the numbers that we have in the past. So it has been a struggle with us. So we're looking to other avenues to come up with a way to do it.
This is a year-long course. At the end of the course, students prepare for real-life drills like putting out fires and wearing gear.
Delta employees are soon going to be getting a raise. The CEO says more than 80,000 workers are going to see a boost in their paychecks starting on the 1st of June. Flight attendants and ground workers getting a 5% hike, and the minimum wage for U.S. employees increasing to $19 per hour. Delta, the most profitable U.S. air carrier, earned $4.6 billion in 2023. And that's more than what American, United, Southwest, and Alaska Airlines earned combined. And the next time your flight is canceled or heavily delayed, you can expect a cash refund rather than a voucher. This thanks to new rules announced by the Biden administration today. Now, under these new regulations, airlines will still offer the vouchers or flight credits, but will have to give cash refunds if flyers deny those other options. New rules also clearly define what delayed means. Delayed means 3+ hours for domestic flights and 6+ hours for international ones. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says this has been a constant problem for flyers.
Too often the things that we hear about aren't just irritating inconveniences. They are significant harms and, more importantly, violations of passengers' rights.
The regulations also force the airlines to be more clear about travel and cancellation fees. Most of the new rules will take effect in 6 months, and airlines could face big fines if they don't follow those rules. Coming up at 5 o'clock, our Brianna Clark talked with a consumer advocate about the changes coming and how they might benefit flyers in other ways.